A pair of shoes, with no brand, no zipper, no logo, but each layer of the insole inside contains more than 3,000 years of history. The ancients called it the shoe of 10,000 miles because once you put it on, you can wear it for a lifetime without tearing it. The first material comes from a palm tree trunk. That dark brown, dry bark, it looks rough, but it contains a special resilient vitality. Not to be burned, but to be used as a lining, as a backbone for the 1,000-layer shoe. Once peeled off, each palm fiber continues its journey. It is taken to the river to wash away the dirt. Cool water flows through each fiber, not only cleaning it, but also awakening the natural softness and adhesion hidden inside. After washing, the craftsman puts it out to dry in the sun. The sun is gentle enough to dry, preserving the fiber's full strength. To bond without a single drop of chemicals, the craftsman had to use an ancient ingredient, the konjac root. This konjac root grows deep underground, has a rough appearance, and is rarely noticed. But inside it contains a natural gel which turns into an odorless, non-toxic glue that does not shrink the fabric. The tubers are brought to the stream, washed clean of each layer of dirt. The rough outer parts, which contain impurities and hard fibers, are carefully peeled off by the craftsman. Because for those who work in the profession, to be successful, first of all, they must be clean and honest, right from the first ingredients. Konjac, after being peeled, is now grated by the craftsman by hand. Each rotation is as steady as kneading an ancient secret passed down from generation to generation. Then water is added, just enough to dissolve but still retain the glue-like consistency. No chemicals, no machines, just patience and a skilled hand, enough to create a paste that can bond dozens of layers of fabric, stronger than sewing thread. From liquid to viscous, from coarse to refined, the process of boiling konjac water is when nature begins to transform into a tool. The craftsman stirs evenly, each round evenly, not too fast, not too slow. Moderate heat, steady hands, sharp eyes. At the right time, the smooth glue layer will flow into threads, like silk, not broken. This is the adhesive that keeps each layer of fabric tightly glued together, water-resistant, strong, and still soft as the beginning. After boiling, the konjac glue is poured into a basin and left to sit for a whole day. Not to cool, but to stabilize. In the shade, over time, the glue settles, thickens, becomes more flexible and sticky. Now, each layer of fabric begins to be measured and cut. The worker's hands do not need a ruler because the length, width are all already in memory. Each fold, each cut, must be precise to the millimeter. Cutting fabric for shoe soles requires not only skill but also understanding. A little deviation can cause pain for life. The newly cut fabric is now coated with a smooth layer of konjac glue, not too thick, not too thin, and the fabric is glued to the wall to dry and harden each layer. Gluing to a wooden surface helps the fabric to be flat, dry evenly, and not curled at the edges. No machines, no molds, just a wall, a little sunlight, and a pair of manual hands are enough. The palm leaves have turned golden and crispy under the sun after many days of drying in the wind. The craftsman quietly collects each leaf, not only as raw materials, but also as the rustic soul of the shoe. The dry palm leaves are light as paper, but when placed in the right place, they become a durable, warm, and durable cushioning for the sole. Back home, the worker begins to trim the excess parts of the palm leaves. Any torn or stiff edges are removed. What remains is the softest and most durable part of the trunk, the part that will become a soft cushion, protecting the user's steps throughout the 4 seasons. The palm leaves, after being trimmed, are now coated with a layer of natural glue. The craftsman gently presses them onto a wooden wall to let the wind dry, to let the sun dry. The rough fibers gradually become soft and flexible, ready to form the durable core of the shoe. In the eyes of outsiders, it is just a piece of leaf, but in the hands of the craftsman, it is about to become the soul of every step. Each rough hemp fiber, through the hands of the craftsman, is tightly and evenly woven. No machines, no molds, just hands and a little feeling. This delicate fiber is the soul that connects each layer of fabric, each piece of sole, to keep the shoe durable through decades of walking. From dry cypress trees, the craftsman burns them into fine ash. That seemingly useless thing becomes an ancient secret. The ash is mixed with water, filtered many times. The water inside is not for drinking, but to nourish the fibers. Raw hemp fibers are boiled in special ash water, becoming soft, easy to braid, easy to sew. The secrets that were thought to be forgotten are now revived through each batch of ash, each handful of fibers. When the fibers are soft enough, the craftsman gently takes them out and uses a tool to beat them evenly. Each beat is to squeeze out the ash water and loosen the fibers. After that, they are washed again with clean spring water to remove any remaining impurities. Only soft, clean white hemp fibers remain, ready for the next step of braiding. The bundles of hemp are now brought out to dry in the gentle sunlight. They are hung up to dry naturally in the wind and light. This is not only the final step in the cleaning process, but also a way to make the fibers stronger and more durable. The shoemaker begins to shape the shoe. White sheets of paper are carefully cut to the shape of the foot. Now is the time when the palm leaves become the first sole of the shoe sole. The craftsman removes each dried leaf, places it on a mold cut according to the mold shape, then uses a needle to fix it to the mold. After securing the core with palm leaves, the craftsman continues to reinforce the edge of the sole with a layer of soft fabric. The fabric is evenly coated with starch, then pressed around the edges of the sole mold, hugging every curve, every corner. The layer of fabric that had been glued and dried before was now gently removed by the craftsman. Each layer of fabric clearly showed its even tension and smoothness. After that, the craftsman applied the paper mold and began to cut each piece of fabric according to the exact shape of the shoe sole. The hemp thread, now dry, soft, and strong, is threaded onto a large needle. The worker begins each stitch through the palm leaves underneath into the pre-cut fabric above. There is no machine, no pre-made seam, just his hands and his memory. Layer of palm leaves, layer of fabric, and then another layer of fabric. Each layer of sole is sewn tightly, compressed, hugging the contours. This is why people call it thousand-layer shoes. Each layer is a bend, a needle puncture over and over again, until the sole is thick, flat, and solid as a rock underfoot. Once the outside is solid, the craftsman continues to reinforce the inner core of the sole. Layer after layer, all hand-sewn, each stitch penetrating deep inside. This is the part that the wearer will never see, but is where the shoe's durability, comfort, and shape are determined. In the world of craftsmanship, it's what's hidden inside that determines its true value. The craftsman moves on to the shoe body. Each small hole is measured evenly, punched by hand, no difference, no deviation. Metal eyelets are pressed tightly into each hole, small, but will help the wearer to lace easily, fixing the shoe shape more firmly. The craftsman carefully sews the eyelets into the shoe body. Each stitch is deep and firm to keep the shoe collar from shifting or peeling over time. This is not a decorative step, but the final connection, helping the entire structure of the body and sole become a solid block. After many days of preparation, each layer of fabric, each stitch, each seam. Now is the time for the shoe body and the sole to be attached together. The craftsman holds the needle firmly, piercing through the edge of the sole and the fabric body. Each stitch is even, strong, and tight like 100 good relationships. This is not just the assembly stage, but the time when the shoe is truly born. From here, it has enough shape, enough sole, enough strength to accompany through the years of life. Once the upper and sole are sewn, the craftsman starts cutting off the excess material. The excess material may seem meaningless, but if not cut neatly, the shoes will be bulky, will slide, and the wearer will feel uncomfortable with every step. That is why the craftsman does not allow himself to miss even a single piece of excess fabric. Finally, the shoes are finished. There are no machine stitches, no production lines, only the hands of the craftsman, the sun and wind of the countryside, the memories of generations passed down from father to son.